It's Laura here from Laura's Farm Life. This is my dog Tessa. She's a COVID puppy. She was born March 3rd of last year. She's a year and a half. She's a very cuddly puppy, but also loves to play. She's a Border Collie Lab Cross, and I can definitely say this, is the best dog I've ever had. I love her so much. So today, I figured I haven't made a video on this channel in a while, so I wanted to do one. I was thinking, what could I do? And then I figured I have a bunch of really funny / embarrassing stories to tell about my farm life. So I'm going to tell you a couple today. The first one is from circa about 2013. It was in the summer, I believe, and Sparkle, I still had her at this point. She had a little injury on her back leg, and it wasn't anything serious. It was just a superficial wound that we just wanted to heal up. And then we still had Cinnamon, good old Cinnamon at this point. And then my friends that boarded her at our place also had a 3 or 4-year-old horse named Pepper. And so he was a gray. Not sure exactly what breed he was. We think he's some sort of Arab mix. But he was a gorgeous horse, but he was a little unruly at times. And he had like one big spot, like a brown spot on his shoulder. But he was really, really pretty. He was about like 15'2", 15'3" hands-ish. He was quite big. So anyway, he was quite the jumper. If you took any horse out of his sight, out of the pasture, he would jump and go see them. So I had taken Sparkle out for her daily foot rinse. She was being stubborn, so I decided to go grab Cinnamon. She didn't want to go up to the house and get her foot hosed. So I decided to go get good old Cinnamon, who didn't care about nothing. So I went and got her, and then Pepper jumps out of the pasture. So we tried to get him back for half an hour to an hour. Didn't work. So we decided to put the mares back in the pasture, try it again. Because the funny thing about this guy is that he would jump out, but he wouldn't jump back in for some weird reason. Like, you would think if the girls were in the pasture where they were supposed to be, then he would go, like, back in the pasture with them, even through an open gate. So we were trying to get him back in, didn't work. Put the girls back, didn't work. So we decided to leave the gate open because he got really close one time, and then Sparkle comes out. So here it gets a little bit interesting. So Cinnamon was an easy catch, so I decided to catch her and put a bareback pad on her because she was a little bony, and chase the horses, like try to herd them back, like a real cowgirl. I was so excited to do that. And she was my trusty steed. So they went all the way to our neighbor's place across the road, and it was just a big, huge hassle. It was quite fun. So I was riding Cinnamon over there, and I got off her in my panic for some reason. I didn't have a saddle on, and I wasn't totally bareback, so I couldn't get on by myself. So a nice lady on the road stopped and offered to help me back up. So I took that. And then my mom decided that she was going to park her car not in the driveway, but you come out of the driveway and then park it like lengthways. The driveway's right here, and then this is the where you come out, and then she parked it right here so they couldn't go past. So they actually went into abandoned pasture. Then my dad came out with a quad and started helping me chase them down. So we did that, and then they came back to our place finally, and then we have this place called the Long Run, which the I always used to call it the long run because it was fun and we would always do a long run there. So all the horses, I got off Cinnamon because I thought we were good, but then they went down the long run, all of them, including Cinnamon, with her tack on, and then they came back, and then I grabbed Cinnamon, got on her again, and then everybody went into the pasture. So yeah, that was quite the experience. It was quite fun for me. I loved it. It was not fun that I had to chase our horses and they weren't coming back, but I probably loved that I was being a hero cowgirl. So yeah, that was quite fun. So that was that story. So then just recently, about a month and a half ago, I now have Higgins. I don't have Sparkle anymore, and I really miss her. And then also my cousin is boarding her quarter horse mare Sandy here. So somehow we woke up in the morning and our neighbors said, "Your horses are over at our place." And we're like, "What? They are? Like, how did they get out?" And then we figured out how they got out. And it was just the big horses. It wasn't the minis. And the gate was still open, and the minis were still at home. I was kind of surprised about that, but they don't really care. It was only across the road. So this is kind of a sad / embarrassing story for me because it led me to a really big decision at the end, which I'll tell you. So I figured we should go get them. So we did our morning chores, fed the cats, etc., fed the dogs, and then we decided to go get them. So if any of you know me right now, you know that I am very, very nervous around horses. Like, when I got Higgins, I was nervous, but now I'm even more nervous. Like, I don't know what happened, but I am very wary of big horses. I'm totally fine with minis. I can go in a pen with like 10 minis and be okay. But with 1 or 2 horses, or like 3, any amount of big horses, I'm freaked out. So I'm very scared of big horses. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I used to love them. I mean, I love them over the fence. I'm trying to work on that. If you have any ideas for how to build my confidence back up, because I would love to get back into riding with confidence, but I just don't know how right now. Just if you have any tips, let me know. Anyway, so we went over to get our horses. Higgins, when I bought him, he was calm, but he is a Morgan, so he's a little bit more high-strung than I was expecting. So they got turkeys there, and he's also a gelding, so the stereotypical gelding is more calm than a mare normally. So I thought he was going to be okay. So there was turkeys there, and they also had 2 big Rottweiler dogs that I'm not scared of, but I was scared the horses were going to be nervous around them. They were okay. We had to go catch them, and then we started leading the horses out. My dad was leading my cousin's horse, and I was leading Higgy, obviously, because he's my horse. And then he was like high strutting and getting all fancy and nervous and not really neighing or anything, but I was just afraid he was going to spook into me. And I was so scared that I actually had to trade with my dad for my cousin's horse, who I don't know very well, but she is like basically bomb-proof. Nothing can really faze her at all. And it's funny because she's a mare. Stereotypically, mares are much more hyper than geldings, but she was more calm than he was, which is kind of strange. but also could be the breed, I don't know. But yeah, so I decided to switch with my dad, and then I was okay. I was still nervous, but I was okay. I was much better than I was with Higgy. So then I come back, and then she decided that she was gonna neigh at the neighbor's horses because they have like a bunch of really fancy barrel racing horses. And then we get in the driveway, and I was okay with that. Like, I wasn't scared of her neighing at them at all because I knew she wasn't gonna do anything. So then we get in the driveway, and she just stops. Just plants her feet, will not move, just stops. Higgy is right in front of us, and then I spent a couple minutes trying to get her to move, and then she finally started moving. So that's what kind of horse she is. She's kind of a really easy, laid-back horse. But if Higgy's, like, if she can't see him or whatever, or if he's going away from her and being ridden and stuff, she hates it. She'll, like, freak out and run around and be crazy. So then we got them back in the pasture. We had closed the gate before that, so the minis didn't get out. So now everything's good, but I was so embarrassed that I had to give my dad my horse. I couldn't even walk my horse home. I was so ashamed and ridiculously just so annoyed at myself. So I went inside, my parents were talking to my grandparents, and I just cried. I just cried for about half an hour. My parents come in, and I'm telling them, like, I am so ashamed of myself. Like, this is so embarrassing. I can't even handle my own horse. I'm freaked out by my own horse. Like, I know I haven't had him that long, but yeah, I was just like, I can't even handle my own horse. I haven't ridden him in months because I'm too scared. So my parents said maybe you should sell him. So I was so sad, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm not using him. I probably won't use him. My cousin came and rode him for me for a sale video, and she couldn't get him to behave very well, so I'm like, I don't need a horse like this. I need something that is super, super calm, like basically like that Cinnamon horse. Like, she wasn't quite 1 foot in the grave, but you had to like push her to move. Like this guy, he just wants to go, but I need something that's like way more wool than go at this point. And I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not ashamed of needing to go back to basics and everything. I want to enjoy riding for me, and I just think that's the best way to go about it. So I decided to sell Higgins, and as of right now, he is actually sold. I'm just waiting for the people to come pick him up. It's very sad. So my point is that I'm probably gonna, if I feel like I want to keep riding after a few lessons with my trainer, I might, like, next year, not next year, but 2023 in the spring, I'd probably look for a horse again. But I think my problem was that I wasn't honest with myself on what I wanted. I wanted a gelding, I wanted a chestnut gelding. Higgy is a liver chestnut, so he's like a chestnut gelding. And I wanted something taller than Sparky. And I wanted something that I could ride that wasn't afraid to go forward. But I think what I really needed is something that doesn't really want to walk, or doesn't at least want to lope or trot. Just is happy and content to go at a nice lazy walk all day, but will walk or trot if you ask them. But they won't like pick up on nervous energy and take that to mean run fast. I scared myself. Yeah, so I need something that's more will than go, that needs to like just walk slow for me, and then when I'm comfortable, then trotting and loping and stuff.